Brett Favre this season has broken the all-time passing touchdowns mark, broken the all-time passing interceptions mark. Come Sunday against the Rams, he can break the all-time career passing yardage mark, also held by Dan Marino. He doesn't hold the interception mark, by the way. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz. Glad to be with you on the NFL Previews presented by Comcast. It's Green Bay off to an 11-2 start for the first time since Vince Lombardi was coaching there 41 years ago, going to St. Louis, who's starting to get healthy, but obviously a little too late in the season. And for more, we bring in NFL.com's Pat Kerwin from Fort Myers.
Hey, Jason.
Pat, when you look at the season that Brett Favre has had so far this year, it's certainly been one of the best of his career. Are you more amazed at what it's been because of how old he is or because of the players that most people didn't think he had around him when the season started?
I give all the credit here to Mike McCarthy and to Ted Thompson, the guys who had the vision to go with the young players, not bring in a couple of old guys to make Brett happy, and then convince Brett that James Jones and Jennings were going to be great receivers for him, that a kid named Ryan Grant could come off the bench as the third-string running back and now average 111 yards a game rushing for the last 5 weeks. Those are the reasons the Packers are doing as well, and Brett has totally bought in. And when Brett has had a few slips where he gets careless with the football, the impressive part of the coaching with him is he reels himself right back, gets under control, and starts to play the game the way the Packers want to play. They're very, very dangerous right now.
Pat, I know he got injured in the Dallas game, and obviously he didn't look good beforehand, but if they were to play Dallas again down the stretch, and obviously most likely it'll be in Dallas, would you give Green Bay a chance again to win like they were unable to do the first time?
Yeah, I absolutely would. And I'll tell you, when you have KGB back on the pass rush, when you have Charles Woodson out there playing, against a guy like Terrell Owens, those two things are going to help. I think Ryan Grant's getting better by the week. The young receivers are getting better. And Brett Favre has never feared the road. You think about it. He's 5-1 on the road this year. He doesn't fear it. They score almost 30 points a game when they get out there. He'll be dangerous, and I always say this about trying to beat a team twice in the NFL in the same season. I think the advantage goes to Green Bay psychologically. They have nothing to lose. They're going to be able to correct some of their mistakes, and they really, truly believe that the guys they'd get back are going to help change the outcome of that game.
All right, as for this weekend, let's pull it back to the game against St. Louis.
Sure.
The Rams, not sure if Mark Bulger's going to play. They may have to go with Brock Berlin again, who we saw what he did in Cincinnati, which wasn't very much. Steven Jackson, he's back, he's healthy, he's had at least 90 yards rushing in the last 4 weeks. Will that be 5 weeks? Will he be able to get at least 90 on the ground again this week?
He might be able to, but remember, that's not going to score points fast enough for what the St. Louis Rams have to do to stay up with the Packers, who are a very high-scoring team and can at any moment strike you dead with a deep ball. Remember, Brett Favre has thrown more balls over 40 yards in the NFL than any quarterback in the league this year. So there's a big play ability on the Green Bay side. St. Louis is going to have to stay up with that. If it's Bulger, we know they can do it. But if Bulger doesn't play, and I have a suspicion he's not going to play, then all of a sudden you can't stay up by handing the ball to Steven Jackson. Not many coaches in this league will continue to run the football if they're down even 10 points. So I think if he gets those yardage, they're not going to be in this game. It's going to be late trying to kill the clock and get out of town. One
more note here on the Rams. Scott Linehan, he did get a vote of confidence this week as well. We talked about Brian Billick's vote of confidence with Baltimore. Linehan got one as well here in his second year with St. Louis. And let's be honest, with all the injuries they've had, it has not been his fault that this team has struggled this year. Pat, obviously I know you like the Packers in this game. How big of a win?
I like the Packers by a couple of touchdowns in this game. I think they're after a couple of things here. They want to secure that second slot in the seeding system. They want to make sure they're at home until they finally go to Dallas. I think that's heavy on their minds. They're going to do a good job with it. And remember this. You mentioned the record. Brett needs 183 yards to get the passing record. The St. Louis Rams give up 233 passing yards a game. He's going to get the record this week while beating the Rams.
He may get the record in the first half, the way that Greg Jennings is going so far this season. All right, Pat, we'll see how it all plays out and talk about it on Sunday. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Take care, Jason.
Folks, for more on this game or any other in Week 15, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com. Watch everything else on the CBS Audience Network. Game kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern. For NFL.com's Pat Kerwin, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care.